In a world racing toward the future, there exists a land where time moves differently, where ancient temples whisper to the wind and neon cities shimmer like galaxies come to life. This is South Korea, a place where tradition and technology breathe as one. From the tranquil courtyards of thousand-year-old palaces to the electric heartbeat of Seoul under a sea of lights, from mist-covered mountains to oceans that hold stories older than memory, South Korea is not just a destination, it's an emotion, a revelation, a symphony of contrasts, of silence and sound, of calm and chaos. So, open your heart and let this journey unfold before you, because once you've seen South Korea like this, you'll never see it the same again. Korea ancient temples, shadowed by neon skylines, describes Seoul's pulse, the quiet Han River at dawn, and the harmony between technology and tradition. Let viewers feel the living rhythm of a nation reborn from history. They say some countries you simply visit, but others you feel. South Korea is one of those rare places where every sound, color, and heartbeat seems to tell a story. From its ancient mountain temples to its neon-lit streets, this is a land where the past and future don't just coexist, they dance together. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the scent of roasted chestnuts on a Seoul winter evening, the rhythmic chants echoing through a Buddhist temple at dawn, and the rush of people crossing Gangnam's glittering avenues. This is South Korea, a living pulse, where contrasts become harmony and history meets the horizon of tomorrow. The journey begins in the soul of the nation, Seoul itself, a city that never truly sleeps, yet never forgets to dream. As dawn breaks, the first rays of sunlight reflect off the glass towers of Songdo and Gangnam, painting the skyline gold. Beneath the surface of this digital kingdom lies another world, a hidden network of narrow lanes, centuries-old palaces, and quiet tea houses where time seems to pause. It's here that the essence of Korea reveals itself, the perfect balance between serenity and speed, between innovation and introspection. At Gyeongbokgung Palace, you step back in time. The ancient wooden gates creak open, revealing courtyards where the Joseon kings once walked. Guards in vibrant robes stand tall beneath the towering mountains, while in the distance, skyscrapers shimmer through the morning haze. This sight alone captures what makes Korea extraordinary, 1,000 years of history standing shoulder to shoulder with the digital age. Walk a few streets away, and modern Seoul takes over. The buzz of the subway, the energy of Myeongdong, and the hypnotic rhythm of K-pop fill the air. Yet even here, spirituality lingers in the quiet gestures of elders bowing at shrines, in the lanterns hanging before spring festivals, and in the poetic discipline of everyday life. By nightfall, Seoul transforms again. The city glows like an endless constellation of dreams. Han River bridges light up in streaks of blue and gold, while street vendors sizzle their magic in hidden corners, spicy tteokbokki, smoky bulgogi, and the irresistible scent of honey pancakes drifting through the night. The laughter of friends, the soft strumming of street musicians, and the hum of passing taxis all merge into a single rhythm, the heartbeat of Korea's capital. But beneath the modern brilliance lies something far more profound. It's a culture shaped by resilience, one that rose from the ashes of war to become a symbol of progress and pride. Koreans carry their history, not as a burden, but as a torch, illuminating their path forward. Every skyscraper, every innovation, every song is built upon centuries of endurance, artistry, and spirit. And yet, Seoul is not just a city, it's a mirror of the nation's soul. It reflects the endless motion of its people, the quiet persistence that turns challenges into triumphs. It's where a generation of creators, dreamers, and innovators write the next chapter of Korean history, one idea at a time. As night gives way to dawn once more, you feel it, that invisible connection between the old and the new, between tradition and technology. It's in the whispers of temple bells and the shimmer of LED lights. It's in the faces of strangers the poetry of their language, and the rhythm of their daily lives. This is not a country frozen in time. It's a story in motion, one that invites you to listen, to watch, and to feel. And this is only the beginning. The journey ahead will take us from sacred temples to volcanic islands, from neon skylines to the quietest mountain paths. But here, in the heart of Seoul, the adventure begins where the soul of South Korea beats strongest. Seoul, from the futuristic skyline of Gangnam to the royal gates of Gyeongju. Explore its 24-hour culture, street food, K-pop energy, and hidden Hanok villages. Blend sound, color, and emotion, the fast pace of a city that defines modern Asia. When night falls in Seoul, something magical happens. The city doesn't rest, it awakens. This is where the future glows brightest, where tradition hums beneath the surface of digital brilliance. Seoul After Dark is not just a place, it's a pulse, a heartbeat that connects millions of stories together under one endless skyline. You can feel it in the lights, the laughter, and the energy that never fades. In a city that refuses to sleep, every moment feels alive, electric, and infinite. As twilight deepens, the Han River becomes Seoul's mirror, a ribbon of silver that reflects the heartbeat of the city. Couples stroll hand in hand, bikers race along the illuminated paths, and the laughter of late-night picnickers echoes under the bridges. The soft glow of lanterns floats across the water, merging the calm of nature with the hum of urban life. For a moment, time stands still, suspended between silence and symphony. Head north, and you'll find yourself in Hongdae, the beating heart of Seoul's youth culture. Here, the air vibrates with music, color, and creativity. Street performers drum, dance, and sing with unfiltered passion, surrounded by murals that burst with imagination. Cafes spill out into the streets, each one offering something unique: latte art, shaped like teddy bears, neon-lit gaming corners, and vintage record shops, hidden behind unmarked doors. Every step feels like entering a new world, an unending celebration of individuality and life. As the night deepens, Gangnam begins to shimmer. Sleek skyscrapers stretch into the darkness, their glass surfaces alive with reflections of passing headlights and digital billboards. Inside, luxury boutiques and rooftop lounges glow in gold and violet hues. The rhythm of the city quickens here, a pulse of ambition, success, and style. But beneath the polished surface, you can still find moments of warmth: a family sharing late-night barbecue, friends toasting with soju, or an elderly man quietly humming an old folk tune as he walks home. And then there's Itaewon, the world in one neighborhood. Here, languages mix like colors on a canvas. You can hear Spanish laughter blending with Arabic music, smell Moroccan spices wafting past Korean street food stalls, and see faces from every corner of the world illuminated by the same Seoul lights. This is the global heartbeat of Korea, proof that the city embraces the world as much as it guards its roots. For those seeking calm, Namsan Tower offers a very different kind of nightlife. The cable car rises over the glowing city, and from the top, Seoul looks infinite, a sea of stars stretching beyond the horizon. Lovers leave padlocks on the fences, tiny tokens of eternity in a city that constantly changes. The air feels cooler up here, and the distant sound of traffic turns into a hum, like the earth itself is quietly breathing. As the clock ticks past midnight, food becomes the city's secret language. Seoul's late-night eats are legendary. The sizzling of samgyeopsal on a tabletop grill, the comforting warmth of spicy ramyeon, and the soft sweetness of hotteok pancakes oozing with honey. Every bite tells a story of comfort, of tradition, of togetherness. Even at 2 a.m., you'll find laughter spilling out from tiny restaurants tucked between alleyways, where friends gather not just to eat, but to live. There's something deeply human about Seoul's nights. Beneath the neon lights and endless motion lies a quiet truth that people here never stop striving, never stop dreaming. Each late-night worker, each artist painting in a dim cafe, each singer busking under streetlights, they're all part of the same rhythm, the same heartbeat that keeps Seoul alive. By dawn, when the first light touches the glass towers once more, the city seems to exhale. The streets empty, the air grows still, and for a brief moment, you can almost hear the silence beneath the storm. Seoul rests, but only for a heartbeat, before beginning again. In this city that never sleeps, every second feels like a lifetime. It's a place where tradition and technology share the same breath, where dreams never end, and where the night is always young. Because here in Seoul, even when the world sleeps, life keeps moving. Step back in time to Gyeongju, the museum without walls. Describe tombs of kings, Silla-era temples, and the mystical Bulguksa temple at sunrise. Capture the feeling of walking through living history, where golden Buddhas whisper the stories of 1,000 years. They call it the museum without walls. Gyeongju, the ancient capital of the Silla kingdom, is where Korea's soul still whispers through the wind. Here, every stone, every temple, every mound of earth holds a memory that stretches back over 1,000 years. When you walk through Gyeongju, you're not just seeing ruins. You're walking inside a living time capsule, a city where the echoes of kings, warriors, and monks still linger beneath the golden light of dawn. As the morning mist rolls over the grassy burial mounds of Tumuli Park, the city begins to awaken in silence. These dome-shaped tombs, some as tall as small hills, hold the remains of ancient rulers. Yet they don't feel like graves, they feel like monuments to eternity. The air is thick with reverence, and the stillness makes you feel as though time has paused to honor those who came before. You can almost hear the quiet hum of history beneath your feet. Nearby, the elegance of Chamseongdae rises from the ground, a stone tower built in the 7th century, believed to be the oldest existing astronomical observatory in Asia. Its 362 granite blocks symbolize the days of the lunar year, a cosmic connection between heaven and earth crafted by human hands. As sunlight touches its stones, you feel an unspoken truth that knowledge and faith once worked together here to make sense of the stars. But Gyeongju's story goes beyond stone and soil. The Bulguksa temple, nestled on the slopes of Mount Toham, radiates a spiritual energy that words can barely capture. Its wooden eaves, painted in rich Dancheong colors, seem to glow against the green of the forest. The sound of bells rings through the morning air, carrying prayers up the mountain. Every corner of this temple speaks of devotion, craftsmanship, and peace. It's not just architecture. It's poetry carved into reality. Just a short climb higher rests Shokuram Grotto, a hidden chamber in the mountain, home to one of Korea's most sacred treasures. Inside, a serene stone Buddha sits, surrounded by carvings of bodhisattvas and celestial beings, all illuminated by a soft, otherworldly light. When you stand before it, silence becomes sacred. The gaze of the Buddha seems to pierce through time itself, calm, eternal, and unshaken by the centuries that have passed. As afternoon sunlight spills across the city, Gyeongju reveals another side, one of daily life gently wrapped around its ancient spirit. Locals cycle past lotus ponds and rice paddies. Children laugh near wooden hanok houses with curved tiled roofs. Even the cafes here feel like they're built to honor history, serving tea on brass trays beside scrolls of calligraphy and quiet gardens. At Anapji Pond, or Donggum, Palace and Woji Pond, as it's formally known, the sun begins to set in pure magic. This was once a royal pleasure garden, where kings and queens celebrated victories and hosted foreign dignitaries. Now, as the water mirrors the twilight sky and the soft glow of lanterns dances across the surface, it feels like a dream caught between worlds. One foot in the past, the other in eternity. But Gyeongju's magic doesn't end with its monuments. It lives in the spirit of the people, in their respect for the land, in the careful preservation of every artifact, every relic. The city stands as a reminder that progress and preservation are not enemies. That beauty doesn't always have to be new to be powerful. When night finally falls, the ancient city glows in quiet reverence. Lanterns flicker along cobblestone streets, the silhouettes of temples blend into the darkness, and the stars above shine like jewels, the same stars that the Silla astronomers once charted from Cheomseongdae. You realize, in that moment, that Gyeongju is not just a destination, it's a conversation between centuries. Here, time moves differently. It doesn't rush, it flows. Every breath feels connected to something greater, something timeless. And as you leave this sacred place, you carry with you a piece of its golden stillness, a whisper from the past, reminding you that even in an ever-changing world, some things remain eternal. Show the cinematic contrast of Busan, sprawling beaches, mountain temples, and neon harbors. From Gamcheon Culture Village's colorful chaos to the serenity of Haedong Yeonggungsa Temple by the sea, portray the raw beauty of a city that breathes both energy and calm. There's a rhythm that belongs only to Busan, a rhythm that feels like the ocean itself, alive, restless, and endlessly captivating. South Korea's coastal gem hums with the sound of waves colliding with skyscrapers, of seagulls soaring above neon harbors, and of street markets bursting with color and scent. It's a city where mountains kiss the sea, where temples cling to cliffs, and where the hum of the ocean is always within reach. Busan is not just a city to visit, it's a city to feel. As dawn breaks over Haeundae Beach, the first light spills across golden sands, glinting off the waves like liquid silver. The air is cool and salted, the horizon glowing with soft pinks and blues. Joggers pass by, children build castles at the edge of the surf, and fishermen cast their lines into the rising tide. Then, slowly, the skyline awakens, tall glass towers catching fire in the sun's reflection. The scene feels almost cinematic modernity, set against nature's timeless beauty. Wander into Jeju Market, and you enter Busan's beating heart. The smell of the sea hangs thick in the air, and everywhere you look, life bursts with color and noise. Women in rubber aprons call out prices for fresh crab and mackerel, while octopuses wriggle gently in their tanks. The market is more than a place to buy food, it's a living symphony of human connection. Sit down at one of the small stalls, order a plate of sashimi caught that very morning, and feel the city's pulse move through every bite. From there, make your way toward Gamcheon Culture Village, the Machu Picchu of Korea. Once a hillside slum, it's now a masterpiece of community rebirth. Houses painted in bright yellows, blues, and pinks cascade down the mountainside like a mosaic. Narrow alleyways twist through murals and stairways, each one revealing new surprises, a sculpture made from recycled bottles, a cafe perched over the sea, a hidden art gallery behind a wooden door. It's a place where creativity thrives, where resilience turns hardship into beauty. Yet Busan isn't only about noise and color. It's also about stillness, the kind that lives in the temples, tucked away in its mountains and cliffs. Haedong Yeonggungsa Temple, for instance, sits dramatically on the edge of the sea, waves crashing against the rocks below as monks chant softly to the rhythm of the tide. Few places in the world blend the spiritual and the natural with such perfection. The scent of incense mingles with ocean mist, and the stone statues of dragons and Buddhas seem to watch over both land and water, guardians of peace in a restless world. As evening approaches, the city begins to transform. The Gyeongju Bridge lights up in dazzling shades of violet and gold, stretching across the water like a shimmering necklace. Locals gather along the beach to watch the lights dance across the waves, and the distant hum of music drifts from seaside bars. The glow of Busan's nightlife is vibrant yet unpretentious. It's energy without arrogance, joy without rush. In the streets of Seoul, life continues deep into the night. Neon signs flicker above rows of barbecue restaurants where the air is thick with smoke and laughter. Groups of friends raise glasses of soju, shouting, "Jeonbae!" Cheers to life, to the sea, to this very moment. From karaoke rooms to late-night street stalls selling spicy tteokbokki, Busan feels like a city that never quite wants the day to end. And yet, beyond all the noise and sparkle, there's something grounding about this place. Maybe it's the mountains that cradle the city. Maybe it's the sea that forever breathes beside it. Or maybe it's the spirit of its people, strong, kind, unshaken by time. Busan has always been a place of balance between work and rest, land and sea, faith and fun. As the final waves of the night roll in, the city exhales. The stars reflect off the water, the bridge lights fade, and the sound of the ocean remains eternal, gentle, alive. You realize that Busan's beauty isn't just what you see, but what you feel. Freedom, peace, and the constant heartbeat of the sea. Busan reminds you that the world doesn't have to slow down to be beautiful sometimes. Beauty is the motion itself, the ebb and flow of waves, the rise and fall of laughter, the light that flickers, fades, and returns again. And here, between the mountains and the sea, you feel it all, the pulse of Korea's coast and the soul of a city that never stops dreaming. Bring the viewer to Jeju's volcanic majesty, Halasan Mountain, Manjango lava tubes, and emerald waterfalls. Describe the legends of the Haenyeo divers and the island's mythical aura. This chapter should feel poetic and dreamlike, a world apart from the mainland. It begins with a whisper, the rush of wind over volcanic cliffs, the murmur of waves against black sand, and the distant echo of a waterfall hidden deep within a forest of emerald green. This is Jeju Island, South Korea's natural masterpiece, a world unto itself, born of fire and sculpted by time. Here, every rock, every gust of wind, every pool of water carries the memory of the Earth's raw creation. Jeju isn't just an island. It's a living soul, ancient, untamed, and otherworldly. The moment you arrive, the air feels different, softer, fresher, tinged with the scent of salt and tangerines. The island greets you not with noise, but with silence. A silence that hums with the presence of nature. You can feel it in the ground beneath your feet, in the way the clouds drift lazily over the Halasan volcano, and in the rhythm of the waves along the coastline. Jeju is a place that breathes slowly, deeply, like a giant that never truly sleeps. At its heart rises Halasan, South Korea's tallest mountain, a dormant volcano that defines the island's spirit. Hiking its trails feels like a pilgrimage to another world. The air cools as you climb, the path winding through dense forests and fields of silver grass that sway like waves in the wind. In spring, azaleas bloom in pink and crimson. In autumn, the mountain blazes with gold. And at the summit, the crater lake of Gyeongju, the white deer's pool, shimmering beneath the clouds. Standing there, above the island, you can feel the heartbeat of Jeju itself. Descending from the mountain, the island reveals its softer side, a land of waterfalls and lava tubes. Gyeongju Falls, whose name means sky connected with land, cascades down a lush cliff into a deep turquoise pool. The sound is hypnotic, constant, cleansing, eternal. Nearby, the Manjango lava tube stretches underground for miles. A cathedral carved not by hands, but by molten fire. Walking through it feels like stepping inside the veins of the earth itself, where silence becomes sacred. Then there's the coastline, wild, rugged, endlessly shifting. The black lava cliffs of Jusangjeoli rise like organ pipes from the sea, perfectly geometric yet entirely natural. Waves crash against them in rhythmic fury, sending salt spray into the air. To the east, Seoraksan Ilkulbong, the sunrise peak, stands proudly, a volcanic tuff cone that glows gold when the first light of dawn breaks across the horizon. Watching the sunrise from its summit feels almost spiritual, as if the sun itself is being born from the ocean before your eyes. But Jeju is not only about its landscapes, it's about its people. The island has long been home to the Haenyeo, the legendary women divers who have harvested the sea for centuries without oxygen tanks, relying only on their strength and breath. These women, many now in their 60 seconds and 70 seconds, dive into icy waters for abalone, sea urchins, and conch shells. Their deep, whistling breaths echo through the air like the calls of the sea itself. The Haenyeo embody the soul of Jeju: resilience, courage, and harmony with nature. Across the island, the local life moves at a slower rhythm. Villages of stone houses sit among fields divided by volcanic rock walls. The wind rustles through tangerine trees, and farmers wave as you pass. Cafes along coastal roads serve fresh seafood, black pork grilled over lava stone, and cups of green tea grown from volcanic soil. Every flavor tastes like the island, earthy, simple, alive. And yet, Jeju carries mystery too. Legends linger in the air of gods, spirits, and mythical creatures that once roamed these lands. Stone statues called Do Haro Bang, the grandfather stones, stand guard across the island, protectors of homes and villages. Their faces are worn by centuries of wind and rain, yet their smiles remain timeless reminders of Jeju's connection between the seen and unseen. As evening falls, the island glows with golden light. The waves soften, birds return to their roosts, and the horizon fades into a wash of pink and lavender. The air grows cool, carrying with it the faint sound of the sea. Stars begin to emerge one by one, then all at once reflecting off the ocean like scattered fire. Jeju by night feels infinite, a world beyond time, where the line between earth and sky blurs into eternity. And in that moment, standing beneath the stars, you realize why Jeju is more than a destination. It's a reminder that the planet itself is alive, that beauty can emerge from destruction, and that stillness can be as powerful as motion. The island may have been born from fire, but it lives now in peace, a rare harmony between nature and humanity. Jeju doesn't ask you to rush or conquer it, invites you to listen to the sea, to the wind, to the quiet heartbeat of the earth beneath your feet. And once you do, you'll understand why Jeju Island is not just a place you visit. It's a place that stays with you long after you've left its shores. Immerse in Korea's spiritual side. Monks chanting in mountain temples, tea ceremonies, and the gentle art of calligraphy show how ancient philosophy, Confucian calm, and Buddhist balance still shapes daily life. A quiet, meditative chapter full of grace. They call it the museum without walls, a city where the past breathes through every stone, every feel, every silent curve of the land. This is Gyeongju, the ancient capital of Korea's Silla Kingdom, a dynasty that once ruled most of the peninsula for nearly 1,000 years. But Gyeongju isn't a relic trapped in time. It's alive, its spirit pulsing through the temples, tombs, and golden treasures that whisper of an age when art and faith shaped a civilization unlike any other. The first thing you feel here is awe, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that stirs quietly in your chest. As you walk through its tree-lined avenues, you don't just see history, you feel it. Beneath your feet lies a city that once rivaled the great capitals of Asia. The air hums with memory. The scent of pine and incense drifts through temple courtyards. The wind carries the faint echo of ancient chants. Every turn, every hill, every stone feels sacred, as if Gyeongju itself remembers. At the heart of this ancient kingdom stands Bokuksa Temple, a masterpiece of faith and design. Built in the 8th century, it rises gracefully from the mountainside, like a bridge between heaven and earth. Stone terraces lead upward through a series of gates, each representing a step closer to enlightenment. The temple's pagodas, Dabotap and Seoraksan, stand like twin sentinels of eternity, perfectly balanced in their symbolism. As sunlight filters through the eaves, you can almost see monks from centuries past, their robes brushing softly against the stone, their prayers rising with the morning mist. But it's not just architecture that moves you, it's what it represents. Bokuksa isn't merely a structure, it's a message carved into time. It tells of a nation that found beauty in balance, strength in stillness, and faith in art. The carvings are delicate, almost impossibly intricate dragons twisting in motion, lotus flowers blooming from stone. It's as if the builders were trying to freeze enlightenment itself, to hold perfection in the palm of their hands. Deep in the forested hills beyond Bulguksa lies Sokguram Grotto, a sanctuary hidden within stone. To reach it, you climb a winding mountain path where each step feels like a passage through the centuries. Inside the grotto, at the center of a round stone chamber, sits a serene Buddha, calm, eternal, radiant in the dim light. His face glows with quiet compassion, his eyes half closed in meditation. For over 1,000 years, he has watched the sunrise over the East Sea every morning, unchanged, unbroken. Standing before him, you can't help but fall silent. The world seems to pause, and in that stillness, something inside you does too. Back in the city, beneath grassy hills that rise like gentle waves, lie the royal tombs of Silla kings, ancient burial mounds that guard the secrets of an empire. They look like part of the landscape, but within them rest golden crowns, jade ornaments, and treasures beyond imagination. The most famous, the Cheonmachang tomb, the Heavenly Horse tomb, revealed artifacts that tell of Silla's golden age, when artisans shaped gold as easily as silk, and the heavens themselves seemed within reach. Walking among these mounds, you can sense the presence of kings and queens who once looked upon these same hills, believing their spirits would live forever in this sacred valley. As dusk falls, Gyeongju transforms. Lanterns flicker to life along the paths, and the ancient walls glow under the fading sun. At the Anapji Pond, once part of the royal palace, reflections shimmer across the still water pagodas, pavilions, and willow trees glowing gold in the twilight. It's said that the kings of Silla built this pond to mirror paradise itself. Standing there, you begin to believe they succeeded. The surface ripples softly with the evening breeze, and for a moment, the boundary between past and present disappears. But perhaps Gyeongju's most powerful gift is not its monuments, but its silence. It's a silence heavy with meaning, not emptiness, but fullness. A silence where you can hear your own breath, your own heartbeat, in rhythm with the pulse of history. The same sun that lights the temple roofs today once shone on kings, monks, and dreamers long gone. The same breeze that brushes your hair once carried prayers from another age. In Gyeongju, time is not linear, it's circular, looping endlessly through memory and renewal. And yet, for all its grandeur, Gyeongju is also deeply human. Elderly women sell rice cakes near the temple gates. Children run through fields where emperors once walked. The sound of a bell echoes across the valley, just as it did centuries ago, not as a relic, but as a living rhythm of life. The old and new coexist here, not in tension, but in harmony. It's as if the city itself teaches you something profound, that the past doesn't die. It simply changes shape. As night deepens, you look once more toward the mountains. The temples glow faintly in the dark, their golden light flickering like stars scattered across the earth. Somewhere out there, the ancient Buddha still sits in his stone chamber, watching over the land, unblinking, eternal. And you realize Gyeongju isn't just Korea's ancient heart. It's a reminder that even empires fade, but spirit endures. The stones remember, the land remembers. And once you've stood beneath Gyeongju's golden sky, so will you. Take viewers into the rugged wilderness, jagged peaks, misty valleys, and autumn forests aflame with color. Describe the climb through Seoraksan National Park and the silence that fills the highlands. Capture Korea's untamed spirit, raw, sacred, and humbling. They say the ocean has a heartbeat, and if you listen closely, you can feel it pulsing through Busan. South Korea's second largest city is where tradition meets the tide, where glass towers rise beside ancient temples, and where the roar of the sea echoes through bustling streets. But Busan isn't just a coastal metropolis, it's a living symphony of contrasts. A place where the mountains touch the waves, where fishermen's chants mingle with the sounds of subway trains, and where the past and future coexist in one breathtaking frame. From the moment you arrive, Busan feels alive. The air is heavy with salt and possibility. Neon lights reflect off rain-slicked streets, and in the distance, the dark outline of the sea glows beneath the moon. It's a city that never stops moving, not out of haste, but out of rhythm. Each district beats with its own pulse, its own melody, its own color. Here, life feels cinematic, as if every street corner hides a story waiting to unfold. At sunrise, Busan's soul awakens by the shore. Hyundai Beach, the city's crown jewel, stretches like a golden ribbon along the edge of the East Sea. As dawn breaks, the first light turns the waves into molten silver. Joggers trace the waterline, seagulls dance in the air, and the city behind slowly comes alive. By midday, Hyundai becomes a festival, families building sandcastles, vendors serving spicy tteokbokki, the smell of grilled seafood drifting through the warm air. But even amid the energy, there's peace in the sound of the surf, a reminder that the ocean has always been Busan's oldest friend. Not far away lies Gwangali Beach, smaller and more intimate, but with a view that steals your breath. As night falls, the Gwangan Bridge, a vast arc of steel and light, illuminates the horizon. Thousands of bulbs shimmer across its span, reflecting perfectly on the dark water below. It feels like the city is whispering to the sea, a quiet conversation of color and light. Couples walk hand in hand, street performers play soft music, and the skyline glows behind them like a dream suspended in glass. But Busan isn't just beaches and bridges. High in the mountains sits Haedong Yeonggungsa Temple, one of Korea's most breathtaking sanctuaries. Unlike most temples tucked into the hills, this one rests on the cliffs above the sea. Waves crash against the rocks below as the temple's pagodas rise toward the sky. In the early morning mist, it feels like a scene painted by the gods, serene, powerful, eternal. Locals come to pray for good fortune, lighting candles that flicker against the wind. The sound of chanting mingles with the sound of waves, and for a moment, the chaos of life fades into stillness. As you descend from the temple and return to the city, you find yourself in Gamcheon Culture Village, a kaleidoscope of color built on the hillside. Once a poor wartime settlement, it has transformed into one of Korea's most iconic neighborhoods. Brightly painted houses stack like Lego blocks, their walls covered in murals and art installations. Narrow alleys twist and climb like a labyrinth, revealing hidden cafes, smiling locals, and views that stretch endlessly toward the sea. Every wall tells a story of renewal of a city that refused to fade. Here, beauty was not built from wealth, but from resilience. At the heart of Busan lies Jeju Market, the beating heart of its maritime soul. It's Korea's largest seafood market, raw, real, and alive. You walk through aisles of wriggling fish, crabs, and octopus, each tank a world of its own. Vendors call out prices in rhythmic Busan dialect, their voices mixing with the clatter of knives and the splash of water. For generations, this market has been the lifeline of the city, a place where the ocean becomes sustenance and tradition lives through taste. You can sit at one of the small food stalls, choose your seafood, and watch it turn from ocean to meal within minutes. Freshness doesn't get closer than this. And then there's Busan Tower, standing tall in Yeongdusan Park, offering a panoramic view of the city and harbor. From here, Busan stretches endlessly, the skyscrapers, the mountains, the sea. As the sun sets, the city transforms into a sea of light, a glowing constellation anchored to the shore. The hum of the streets below rises like a soft song, and you realize that Busan isn't defined by one thing, it's defined by everything. Every contrast, every connection, every heartbeat that makes it alive. In the evening, the Nampodong district fills with life. Street stalls steam with spicy snacks. Musicians perform beneath glowing lanterns, and laughter spills from open restaurants. There's a kind of warmth here, a friendliness that feels deeply human. It's not the polished perfection of a capital city. It's the authenticity of a place that wears its soul proudly on its sleeve. But what makes Busan unforgettable is the way it moves you, the way it mirrors life itself, constantly changing, yet deeply rooted, modern, yet timeless. The sound of waves never fades here. It simply becomes part of the city's rhythm, echoing through every alley and every heart that calls this place home. As night deepens, you return to the water one last time. The bridge lights ripple across the surface. The tide hums softly against the shore. Somewhere beyond the horizon, another day begins, but for now, the city breathes in quiet harmony with the sea. You close your eyes and realize that Busan isn't just a city by the ocean. It is the ocean vast, alive, and impossible to forget. Celebrate Korea's creativity. From hanbok fashion and pottery to kimchi making and lantern festivals. Show how the nation's heritage lives through its art and cuisine. Let the sounds of samonori drums and sizzling markets immerse the audience. They call it the Island of the Gods, a land born of fire, sculpted by wind and softened by waves. Jeju Island isn't just a destination, it's a world of its own, raw, mythical, and alive. Floating off South Korea's southern coast, Jeju feels like stepping into another realm, where volcanoes sleep beneath emerald hills, waterfalls carve paths through black lava cliffs, and the ocean hums an ancient song. From the moment your feet touch its soil, something feels different, quieter, deeper, almost sacred. The story of Jeju begins millions of years ago, when the sea cracked open and molten fire rose to form Hallasan, South Korea's highest peak. This towering shield volcano dominates the island, its slopes draped in mist and mystery. At dawn, the mountain glows with the soft pink light of sunrise, its summit often lost in the clouds. To climb Hallasan is to walk through time, from lush, subtropical forests at its base to volcanic rock and alpine meadows near its peak. Each step feels like peeling back a layer of the Earth's memory. On a clear day, you can see the whole island unfold beneath you, ringed by the deep blue of the sea, as if the world itself were breathing in harmony. But Hallasan is only the beginning. All across Jeju, the land still whispers of its volcanic past. One of the island's most striking features is the Manjangul lava tube, a subterranean wonder stretching nearly 8 kilometers beneath the surface. Inside, the air is cool and still, the walls glistening with ancient minerals. Lava stalactites hang from the ceiling like frozen fire, and the floor ripples in hardened waves, a moment in geological time preserved forever. Walking through it feels otherworldly, as if you've entered the lungs of the earth itself. Above ground, nature continues to astonish. Songsan Ilchulbong, or Sunrise Peak, rises dramatically from the ocean, a tuff cone formed by explosive volcanic eruptions over 100,000 years ago. At dawn, the crater fills with light, as the first rays of the sun ignite the sea below. It's no wonder locals call this place sacred. To witness sunrise from its summit is to feel reborn. The climb is steep, but the reward is beyond words. A 360-degree view where sky and ocean melt into gold. Yet Jeju is not only a story of rock and flame, it's also a story of water. The island's Cheonjeon and Cheonjeon waterfalls are among its most enchanting sights. Hidden within lush green canyons, the water tumbles down in silver ribbons into jade-colored pools. The air here feels charged, alive with mist and myth. According to legend, 7 celestial nymphs once descended from heaven to bathe in these pools under the moonlight. Locals still come here to feel that divine energy, to listen to the symphony of falling water and whisper their wishes into the air. Further inland, the island unfolds in fields of wind-blown grass and ancient stone walls. Small villages seem frozen in time, their thatched roof houses built from black volcanic rock. The Hanyeo, Jeju's iconic women divers, embody the island's spirit of resilience. For centuries, these women, some in their 60s and 70s, have plunged into the cold sea without oxygen tanks, harvesting abalone, octopus, and seaweed by hand. Watching them emerge from the surf, faces weathered but glowing with pride, you realize that Jeju's magic isn't only in its landscape, it's in its people. These women have turned survival into art and tradition into legacy. Everywhere you go, Jeju feels both wild and welcoming. The Ale Trails, a network of walking paths that trace the island's edges, invite you to explore it slowly. Each path reveals something new: a hidden cove, a windswept cliff, a field of canola flowers dancing beneath a blue sky. Along the coast, the waves crash against dark lava rocks, spraying white foam into the air. Seagulls glide effortlessly above, their cries blending with the rhythmic sound of the sea. There's a poetry in this island, a rhythm that speaks not to your mind, but to your soul. And when the day ends, Jeju transforms once again. The sun sinks into the horizon, painting the sky in burning shades of red and orange. The wind softens, the cicadas fall silent, and the island seems to exhale. The lights of distant fishing boats flicker across the water, and the scent of salt and tangerine fills the air. Locals gather for dinner: grilled mackerel, black pork sizzling over charcoal, and bowls of seaweed soup shared under open skies. It's a simple life, but here, simplicity feels divine. Jeju isn't a place you just visit. It's a place you feel. It's in the wind that brushes your face on the cliffs, in the echo of water falling deep in the forest, in the warmth of the people who call it home. It's an island that reminds you of how powerful and fragile nature can be, how beauty is born from both fire and patience. As you stand once more at the ocean's edge, waves rolling endlessly toward the shore, you realize something. Jeju isn't just South Korea's island paradise. It's a living dream, one shaped by the earth's fire, washed by time, and held together by human spirit. And in that dream, for just a moment, you find yourself becoming part of its story. Portray Korea's transformation into a global powerhouse: robotics, high-speed trains, skyscrapers, and the digital revolution. Yet beneath the chrome and glass, the heart remains deeply human. Explore how technology meets empathy in this new era of Korean identity. They say the soul of a country is found not in its cities, but in its mountains. And in South Korea, that soul lives and breathes in Seoraksan National Park. Rising like a stone cathedral in the northeastern province of Gyeongju, Seoraksan is a world where clouds cling to jagged peaks, rivers carve silver paths through deep forests, and time itself seems to slow. This is not a landscape you simply see, it's one you feel in your bones. Every sound, every gust of wind, every shifting shadow carries a sense of something ancient and untamed. From the first moment you enter Seoraksan, the world beyond begins to fade. The air is different here, crisp, alive, filled with the scent of pine and stone. The mountains tower above like sleeping giants, their ridges jagged against the sky. Morning mist curls around the peaks like breath, and sunlight filters through the canopy in liquid gold. It feels almost sacred, as if nature itself were whispering secrets to those willing to listen. At the heart of the park lies Ulsanbawi Rock, a massive granite formation that seems to pierce the heavens. The climb is steep, nearly 1,000 steps, but each one brings you closer to awe. Along the way, the forest falls away to reveal sweeping views of the valleys below, the trees glowing in shades of green, orange, and gold, depending on the season. When you finally reach the summit, the wind greets you like an old friend. From here, the entire world unfolds: the distant sea, the endless mountains, and the small temples hidden among them. Standing on Ulsanbawi, you understand why so many Koreans come here seeking peace. The silence is profound, but within it, there's meaning. Below, tucked among the mountains, lies Sinhungsa Temple, one of Korea's oldest Buddhist sanctuaries. Its origins trace back over 1,000 years, and its presence feels eternal. The temple grounds are filled with the soft chime of bells, the smell of incense, and the quiet footsteps of monks moving through stone courtyards. The great bronze Buddha, towering more than 60 feet high, sits in serene meditation at the entrance, a symbol of peace, watching over all who enter. When the morning light touches its face, the metal glows like sunlight caught in stillness. Here, surrounded by the whispers of the forest, it's impossible not to feel humbled. As you wander deeper into the park, waterfalls tumble down moss-covered cliffs, and clear streams twist between boulders polished smooth by centuries of rain. The Biryong Falls, or Flying Dragon Falls, cascade with graceful power, their mist catching the sunlight like shattered glass. Legends say dragons once lived in these waters, and when you stand there with the roar of the falls echoing in your chest, it's easy to believe. Every drop of water feels alive, carrying with it the energy of the mountains, the same energy that has shaped this land for millennia. Seoraksan changes with the seasons like a living painting. In spring, cherry blossoms dust the valleys in pink and white. In summer, the forests explode in vibrant green, their trails alive with the hum of cicadas and the rush of rivers. But it's autumn that steals the breath away. The mountains transform into a sea of fire, crimson, gold, and amber leaves glowing beneath the sun. Hikers from across the world come to witness it. And for a few weeks each year, Seoraksan becomes one of the most beautiful places on Earth. And then comes winter quiet, still, covered in snow. The mountains sleep beneath a blanket of white, and the temples seem to float in mist. It's haunting, serene, almost unreal. But beyond the scenery, what makes Seoraksan truly unforgettable is its spirit. The Koreans have a word, Gyeong, that describes a deep emotional connection not just to people, but to places. Seoraksan embodies that perfectly. It's not just a park, it's a relationship between land and life. Locals speak of the mountain as if it were alive, a guardian, a teacher, a silent witness to generations. When you walk its trails, you can feel that presence, a calm strength that seems to flow through the rocks and trees and into you. Evenings here are pure poetry. The sun dips behind the peaks, painting the sky in violet and rose. The air cools, the river's quiet, and the forest comes alive with the soft chorus of night insects. In nearby Sokcho, a small coastal city at the park's edge, the sea breeze carries the mountain's scent. Fishermen return to the docks, lights flickering across the water. You can sit by the shore with a bowl of steaming seafood stew, watching the moon rise above the black silhouette of Seoraksan. It feels timeless, like the earth itself is pausing to breathe. As you leave the park, you glance back one last time. The peaks are shrouded in twilight, their outlines faint but powerful. You realize that Seoraksan is not something you leave behind. It lingers in your lungs, in your heartbeat, in the way you see the world afterward. Because here, amid the rocks and rivers, you've seen what happens when nature and spirit coexist in perfect balance. South Korea's heart beats in many places in the lights of Seoul, the waves of Busan, the quiet fields of Jeju. But its soul lives here, in the wild, unbroken silence of Seoraksan. And once you've heard it, you'll never forget its sound. End with an emotional reflection. Capture faces, traditions, and dreams the unity of a nation that honors its past while racing toward tomorrow. Conclude with cinematic shots of sunrise over Seoul and waves breaking on Jeju's shores. Leave viewers inspired with the feeling that South Korea is not just a place, it's an experience. If you look beyond the glittering cities and misty mountains of South Korea, you'll find something even more powerful, the spirit that binds it all together. It's in the way people greet you with warmth, in the centuries-old traditions that still shape daily life, and in the balance between progress and preservation. South Korea isn't just a destination, it's a story of resilience, reinvention, and the unwavering power of the human soul. And to understand this country fully, you have to feel that spirit, the quiet strength that has carried its people through war, hardship, and rebirth. Walk through a traditional market, and you'll sense it immediately. The air is alive with the smell of sizzling street food, roasted chestnuts, and steaming bowls of tteokbokki spicy rice cakes glowing in red chili sauce. Vendors shout cheerfully, their hands moving fast as they serve locals and travelers alike. In places like Gwangjang Market in Seoul or Jegalchi Fish Market in Busan, generations of families have worked the same stalls for decades, preserving not just recipes, but pieces of history. Every bite of kimchi, every bowl of bibimbap carries a story, a link between the past and the present. But the heart of Korea's spirit isn't only found in its food, it lives in its traditions. The art of hanbok, the traditional Korean attire, is a symbol of elegance and identity. Flowing fabrics in rich colors and delicate patterns tell stories of nobility, love, and ceremony. Today, you can see young Koreans proudly wearing hanbok through the old streets of Gyeongbokgung Palace or Bukchon Hanok Village, merging modern pride with ancestral grace. The same harmony exists in tea ceremonies, where every movement, every pour and sip becomes a meditation on patience, mindfulness, and respect. Music, too, carries the heartbeat of Korea. Long before K-pop conquered the world, the haunting sounds of pansori, a traditional form of storytelling through song, echoed through the countryside. With only a drum and a voice, performers could make an audience laugh, weep, and remember. Today, those echoes have evolved into something extraordinary. K-pop is more than entertainment. It's a global phenomenon that captures Korea's drive, creativity, and cultural power. From BTS to Blackpink, these artists have turned Korean identity into a global language, one that transcends borders and generations. Yet for all its modern brilliance, South Korea has never forgotten where it came from. In small mountain temples, monks still rise before dawn to chant sutras that have been spoken for over 1,000 years. In rural villages, elders still bow to ancestral tablets during Chuseok, Korea's harvest festival, giving thanks for family and life. And in every Korean home, no matter how urban or modern, there's always a sense of jong, that deep emotional bond between people, places, and moments. It's a word that doesn't translate easily, but once you experience it, you understand. It's what makes a stranger treat you like family, what makes a community come together in times of need, and what makes Korea's soul so unforgettable. To see this spirit at its purest, visit the small village of Andong-haho, where traditional Hanok houses stand along a slow-moving river, framed by cliffs and pines. Time seems to stand still here. Locals wear simple smiles, sharing rice, wine, and laughter as the sun sets over the water. There's something deeply peaceful about this place, a reminder that in Korea, progress has never meant forgetting the past. It's about blending old and new into something whole. That same spirit shines in Korea's art and design, sleek, minimalist, and yet full of warmth. You see it in the architecture that fuses ancient lines with futuristic glass. You feel it in the balance between nature and technology, in the way a quiet garden can exist in the middle of Seoul's skyscrapers. Korea's story isn't about choosing between tradition and innovation, it's about weaving them together into something beautifully human. But perhaps the most defining feature of Korea's spirit is its resilience. This is a nation that has faced invasion, division, and devastation, yet each time, it has risen stronger. After the Korean War, when the land lay in ruins, the people rebuilt with unwavering determination. That same perseverance still defines the country today, a belief that through hard work, unity, and faith, anything is possible. It's a lesson written not just in history books, but in the hearts of every Korean. As night falls over the country, neon lights reflect on the Han River. Temples glow under candlelight, and the air hums with energy. There's a rhythm here, a living pulse that flows from the mountains to the cities, from the past to the future. You can feel it in every sound, every taste, every smile. South Korea isn't just a place to visit, it's a place to experience. A land where contrasts don't clash, they dance. Where technology and tradition, serenity and excitement all exist side by side in perfect harmony. And as you leave this country, you carry something with you, not just memories of landscapes and food, but a piece of that spirit. The spirit of South Korea, resilient, radiant, and endlessly alive. A spirit that whispers, no matter how the world changes, never lose your heart. Because in the end, that's what makes South Korea unlike anywhere else on Earth. Not just its beauty, but its soul. A light that shines quietly, eternally in the hearts of its people. As the final light fades behind Korea's mountain peaks, the journey comes full circle, from the energy of its cities to the stillness of its temples, from stories carved in stone to dreams built in steel and glass. South Korea is more than a country. It's a living rhythm, a reminder that beauty is born when the past and future dance together in harmony. And as you leave this land of spirit and wonder, you realize it never truly leaves you, because the essence of South Korea stays in your memories, your senses, your heart, until the day you return to once again walk where the old meets the new and the extraordinary becomes real. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.